The following is a special presentation of iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Live from Thunder Valley, it is the United Sim Racing BNC Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Hi, welcome to the LSRTV booth. I'm Austin Coop. He's Michael Guerriglia, and Cisco Scarmuza in the production trailer in the inside of that great Coliseum that we have here tonight. You'll find Cisco maybe somewhere among those trailers, but nonetheless, we are here under the lights. One of the few times that we get to do that here in this series, but it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun here tonight as we will experience some thrilling half-mile racing here tonight. Short track racing with these trucks. It's one of my favorite tracks on the sim, and you'll definitely see a lot of jam-packed action here tonight. Michael, we come to this race 3 weeks before the cutoff for their chase for the championship, United BNC Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series Championship, which is just on the horizon, and 3 races time, and it's going to be a load of fun here.
Yeah, Bristol, like you said, is always it's a very fun track to do. It's also one of my favorites, as it's really got some character. You can run different lines depending on where the rubber's laid down, but everyone's going to be on that top side of it. To being able to keep that momentum is really going to be key tonight. But yeah, Bristol is always going to be great excitement, because you always have these close battles, people diving in and out, looking for spots, trying to do slide jobs, going through the corners. But like as you said, with 3 races to go left, this is going to also be a really pivotal race for those people on the cutoff line, as this could be a make or break you if they have a bad race or a good finish.
And so we'll look at the point standings as they are right now. Of course, Jamie Walker, he will lead the points this week, and he'll probably win the championship unless Aaron Bennett really racks up some good ones and Jamie Walker falls a bit. So Jamie Walker on top after 17 races. And then you start to look down the list. A lot of these names aren't as important, sadly, tonight in the next couple of weeks because of the cutoff line. Chris Gabeau leads, or is off the mark by 2 points. So 2 points is the difference, or 21 points, I should say. 21 points is the difference between Matthews and Gabeau. That's 7 points more back to Robert Gillenwater, and then a whopping 30 points for Garrick Mall. At this point, it looks pretty grim for him. He's got to hope that the guys in front of him have mistakes for a few weeks. So really, what we're looking at tonight is that cutoff line. We're going to be looking at Tim Matthews, Chris Gabeau, Christian Peterson as well. Christian Peterson needs to have a good night so he can stay within this thing. And I mean, those 4 drivers right there, Peterson, Matthews, Gabeau, and Gillenwater, those are the drivers to watch tonight.
Yeah, and just looking at qualifying times right here, Gabeau set himself up really well, as he's currently in the 5th spot with about a minute and a half left in qualifying. So he's already starting off on the right foot tonight, as he's got his other competition, Tim Matthews. He's down in 10th, Gillenwater in 14th. Peterson is actually the slowest qualifier right now in 16th. So it'll be interesting to see how people who are in the back that are really going to cut off line can really get to the front, see if they can make some moves, get up front, get those points at the end of the race. Or like Chris Gabeau, he can just maintain his spot, make sure he gets that cutoff line, gets the points he needs, and gets a good solid finish.
We got about a minute left until this grid will happen. These guys will be done with qualifying, and like you said, Jamie Walker currently on the provisional pole, and we do see a very wide range of drivers throughout this field. About half and half. Half the drivers have qualified, half the drivers are not. So that'll also put an interesting part in this. We're going to see some drivers come from the back, some drivers start up front and possibly fall off, but in the end, we're going to be looking at excuse me, we're going to be looking at probably won some long green flag runs in this race, which will be exciting within itself. So really looking forward to this race, half mile here at Bristol, and just about ready to get this thing underway here as the lights are down, and we're about to go grid. We're about to grid here for tonight's Bristol race. So that will conclude qualifying here tonight. Jamie Walker will get the pole tonight, and he will start front row with Scott Formosa. So we'll go through your LSRTV starting grid. Behind the pace car is going to start Jamie Walker in pole with a 14.729. To his outside is going to be Scott Formosa in the number 80 machines. Tommy Ryan starts in the third position. He's going to need a lot of help to make it to the playoffs and to the chase, and then Justin Michael starts his outside. Hardly going to have to work it for him. Chris Cabot will start from the 5th position with Seth DeMerchant starting 6th to his outside. Then you've got Kyle Manger starting behind him in 7th, with Michael Atkins Jr. starting 8th, with Jeff Ryan starting 9th, and Tim Matthews, he will start 10th.
In 11th place, you got Dwayne Dunn. John Jenkins is going to be in 12th. Shane Hoffer in 13th. Bob Gillenwater, cutoff driver to watch tonight, will be starting 14th. Ralph Vandervorst in 15th. Christian Peterson 16th. Bobby Terrell, first of your non-qualifiers, starting 17th. Randy Tesser in 18th. Scott Simley 19th. And Aaron Bennett's going to round out your top 20.
Starting 21st is Greg Wall, with Justin Cleaver starting 22nd. 23rd starts Michael Priester, George Hendricks 24th. Rhett Jetty, as he always does, starts 25th with Matt Morrow. 26th, Michael Warren will start 27th with John Wilco, Michael Waite, and Steve Herring, finishing out 28th, 29th, and 30th on tonight's starting grid. And we will take a quick look at your track facts tonight. We've already talked a lot about this track and how it's unique. Love to come here all the time. It doesn't matter what car we're in. So to look at the track facts, it's a half mile like we talked about. To be precise, it's 0.533 miles long, and the banking is the incredible part about this place. 26 to 30 degrees banking in the corners of progressive banking, and then still having up to 10 degrees of banking on the straightaways. That's what makes this track so hard to master, is it's not flat, and you cannot just mat it out of the corner. So really fun here tonight as we are going. You know, this track has a lot of nicknames. You know, it has Thunder Valley, Last Street Coliseum, World's Fastest Half Mile. Has the nickname the Bull Ring too, but at the same time we have a new bull ring, which is Las Vegas on the sim, so not really going to be able to use that one much. But nonetheless, this track has a lot of character. So before we start this race, we do want to give a big shout to B&C Lawn Landscaping. Coverage of the United Sim Racing B&C Lawn Landscaping Truck Series is brought to you not only by B&C Lawn Landscaping. Their mission is to deliver premium landscaping to commercial and residential properties. You can check them out at 302-381-6073, and you can contact Aaron Bennett for any of those questions that you have to deliver. And they've been a big partner for LSRTV and this series for quite some time here, Michael. And any last thoughts before we get rolling here?
Really just looking to see how this race is going to play out. Usually these people, the right front tire is one of the main parts of getting to the front. You want to make sure that doesn't get hot and that wear stays low, so you have to go easy in and hard off. Make sure you don't kill that right front in the middle of the corner.
Tire management, as it always typically is it's going to be important tonight. And yeah, with these guys typically using the top side, we will definitely see tire management be a big deal here tonight. So pace car down and off and away. And number 88 of Jamie Walker will get these guys going. Green flag in the air, and we are racing short track racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. A long 200 laps is going to be in shape here, but already battling behind them. Tommy Ryan is fighting with Justin Michael. Michael goes down to the bottom side, and he's going to want to get that position immediately, and looks like he's actually going to be able to get it from Tommy Ryan here on lap number 1.
Yeah, Justin Michael just clears, and that bottom lane was really important on the start of these restarts, because that's where the momentum is. That high side just doesn't have that run because you're low RPMs just getting going, so it's key to make that run. But as we look back, Michael Atkins Jr. is still looking on the inside of Tommy Ryan. It looks as though Michael Atkins is going to clear him right here and gain that spot. Seth the Merchant to the inside as well. Looks as though Tommy's just struggling up there right now. maybe the top side just isn't in yet, but looks as though DeMerchant is not going to clear him off turn 4 as they go into 1. A really, really quick lap around here. They're running 15-second lap time, so really having a hard time just trying to get all these moves together.
It takes 4 laps here to complete a minute. That just shows you how fast this conveyor belt of madness is. And yeah, Tommy Ryan is starting to lose a lot of spots, and I don't know if this is a plan or anything, but he is. I think he's struggling right here because everyone else is just leaving him. He's already 2.4 seconds off the pace, and there's quite the stack up behind him. There's a lot of drivers that are single file on that top side that just got a little bit of damage here, and so that's going to be Tim Matthews. I think it's Chris Cabot in front of them. He got a little bit of damage too, but that's to be expected here at this place. And right in front of him, Tommy Ryan riding on board with him, having a good race so far. I mean, only a few laps in, but it can always be good to have a good time up towards the front. So, oh, we're gonna have our first caution of the day. Where is that going to be? It's going to be in turn number 1 on the front straightaway. It's where I think it happened here.
I got George Hendricks. Yep, that number 34, George Hendricks. Looks like there's a little checkup as we pull up the LSR replay up here.
Ooh.
Yeah. Looks as though the 3 checked up as the 12 kind of came up, but the 34 is checked up, and then the 9 of, I believe that's Michael Warren, ran him over and just turned him around down the front stretch.
Tell you what, there was no warning between the number 3 slowing down, and I don't know if you can blame him, but he drastically slowed down. I mean, it wasn't just a little bit; it was quite a bit. Aaron went from around 100 and, well, at least it seemed like it just because of how fast these guys go, but he went from 120 miles an hour quickly to 110, and just that amount of time was enough to get the number 34 to be turned around, and it was a hard hit to the inside wall. I actually know that he did not hit the inside wall, so he should actually be just fine. Just gonna have a little bit of fender damage here. So some guys are coming down pit road. The unique thing about this speedway is the fact that we have pit stalls on the front and back. Drivers on both sides of pit road coming down for service for their first pit stop, and they are off and away. And if I do remember last season, there was a very few amount of caution, so this one's starting a lot differently than last year's.
Yeah, we got a caution already on lap 8 so far, so we're looking to clean that up and make sure we get these 200 laps in as clean as possible. But it looks as though Jamie Walker and the rest of the top 5, I think it was also Formosa, Atkins, they all decided to come down pit road. And staying out, we have, I believe, Justin Michael is going to retain your lead with Tommy Ryan in 2nd, Jeff Ryan in 3rd, and Chris Cabot in 4th. And I believe Tim Matthews stayed out as well, and he'll be in 5th. So it'll be interesting to see how these 8 laps have really changed on these tires as the people who stayed out will get this heat cycle on their tires, and let's see if it'll be able to keep up with the fresh tires behind them.
That's right, the number 87 who started 4th, he will start 1st, and then Tommy Ryan, who struggled a lot, he was almost as far back as 10th place. He will start in the 2nd position on this restart, and the number 34, that is George Hendricks. He's right in front of him. He should get the wave around next time by, which should be the 1 lap to go. But one thing about these short tracks is typically the caution periods are shorter. But as a driver who wants to come get service, actually George is going to pull down pit road, so he's going to stay a lap down. I was not expecting that, so he will come down pit road for service. But they're a quicker caution, so even if we do have a few cautions here or there, which is to be expected at a short track like this, they'll at least be fairly short when we go back to racing.
And we're being told that Hendricks actually will not get the wave because he was a part of that wreck. So it looks as though he just decided to come down and take that service, get that damage fixed, as he has a lot of left rear quarter panel damage. I believe that's the only damage on his car. So other than that, if he gets that rig straightened out, it'll be fine. But for, as you said, for short tracks, we really don't really care about damage, as they can usually keep up with or without damage. It's not really aero dependent. So it looks as though he'll be all right if once he gets back around. His pace starts coming out of turn 2, and we're doubling it up for the restart coming to the line.
The guys are on the back straightaway. Aaron Bennett is going to take the EOL for this one, and so that will put him at the end of the longest line, as he claims that caution to be his. So number 87 of Justin Michael, he will start on the very bottom. and he is already off and away. What a good start, and I don't think they were expecting this. The number 6 of Tommy Ryan was not quite ready for this one, and neither was the rest of the field, as he's able to get about 5 car lengths between himself and everyone else. And so they're double file behind him for a few spots as Tommy Ryan up on the top side. I said he could not get anything going earlier. He's on old tires, so we'll see how quickly that catches up with him. Here goes the number 10 of Jeff Ryan here to the bottom. Jeff Ryan having a stellar performance so far this evening. Oh, we got a 1 car around. That's 25 of Kyle Manger. I don't know if he's going to cause the caution. He is. Caution has flown, and so the 25 of Manger also collecting the 12 of Greg Mall. So that will cause our first caution. It looks like he got spun out, but Greg Mall, he's actually got engine damage. This might put the fork in it for him. He may not make the chase just based off him being caught in this caution here.
Yeah, that was a tough break. As we look at the replay here, yeah, as you said, I believe Manger did get turned up in the front of the field, but looks as though when Greg got there, he thought, I guess, Manger was going to get going, and he went down to counteract that, but looks as though Manger just stayed on the bottom, and it really hurt Greg. As he also got hit by, I believe that was the, if I can get a number on that, the 62, or sorry, the 98 of Steve Herring. He hit him, Greg Mull, pretty hard, so I'll be interested to see if Steve has a lot of engine damage there.
And so Kyle Manger looked like he's going to get the worst, but then you see Greg just get plowed into by 2 drivers. So that gave him just enough engine damage to basically ruin his day. So basically you can say that Greg Mull is not going to make the chase almost mathematically at this point, unless he is able to benefit off a lot of other guys coming down pit road for sure. He had a good run going for a while, and just the last couple of weeks it just hasn't been going his way. So looks like that's going to be it for him in this chase, even though we have 2 more races to go. So nonetheless, we are under caution for the second time on lap 16. Not the way we expected this one to start, but nonetheless we are going to run a few pace car laps. And so at this time I think it's a good point to give a big shout out to our friends at Joel Real Timing. Coverage of the United Sim Racing BNC Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series is brought to you by Joel Real Timing, the official timing software of LSRTV. And whether you spend time on the sim behind the wheel, on the pit box, or from the spotter stand, Joel Real Timing is the go-to software for iRacing timing and scoring analytics. You can get yourself a basic download or get the pro version today at joel-real-timing.com. Again, that's joel-real-timing.com. And while we continue to pace, it's important to say that, yeah, the points for Greg probably aren't going to be there, but we start to look at Chris Cabot and Robert Gillenwater are where they are at, and I'm not sure where Chris Cabot is. I don't actually see him.
I believe he actually pitted. He's 17th.
Yeah, okay, so he's farther back there. I was about to say, I can never find him. I don't know what it is about the number 5, because I said his name earlier, but I just could not find him. So he needs to have himself a really good race tonight. And so coming down, and I think he may have just a tiny bit of damage on the front end. Now it looks pretty clean. So right now he's doing just fine. And then we start talking about the number... we start talking about Robert Gillenwater, and he is the one who just spun out the 25, so not what he wants. If he has another incident, he's done for the night, so he has to keep his nose clean tonight.
Yeah, Bob's just going to run out the laps and see if he can get, make it to the end and pick up some spots as the cautions come out. I'll also have Tim Matthews up in 4, so he's really trying to hold on to that spot right now. I believe he's in the 12th spot, last car in the standings. Yes, he is. So he's doing a good job so far, trying to maintain that spot as we're getting ready for the restart going into turn 3. I think we still have the top 4 still on old tires, but if they're anything at the last restart, it's going to really stacked up in 1.
Race car off and away, and Justin Michael will go early once again, and this time Tommy Ryan gets a great start behind. We'll see how they are able to sort this one out. Tommy goes straight to the bottom. He's able to get a good jump on the inside, and he actually went much quicker than the 87, I would have to believe. And so he's going to challenge for the lead. He goes down to the very bottom of the track underneath Justin Michael. Don't think it's going to stick for the moment, but he did try for it right there, and he's going to try again. Almost hooks him right there, and the 88 of Jamie Walker is going to come to the bottom. He's got fresh tires, and he's going to try and get himself around all of this. Even with new tires, that top side is still super strong. So he's going to have to basically try for a few laps on that bottom. Here comes Seth the Merchant here. He's running on board with him. You can see the speed that he's got, but that top side is just so strong right now.
It looks as though the outside can just barely maintain with the fresh tires that are on the bottom of Jamie Walker and Seth the Merchant, as Jamie looks as though he might actually have the pass complete, and he does on the 10 as the 10 gets really tight, stacks up the outside lane. Tim Matthews got stacked up, I believe also John Jenkins and Christian Peterson, but that benefited Seth the Merchant, and he's now alongside of Jeff Ryan going into turn 1 and 2. The Merchant's not really using that bottom line. He's getting in the middle line, which is really keeping that momentum up, as usually on the bottom you get pinched and lose that momentum, as he's going to clear him off of turn 4. So this is those Seth and those tires are really working it, as the top 3 are within 4/10 of a second up front.
Yeah, they pulled away from everybody else, and now Seth is going to be clear of the 10. And like you said, tires are going to be everything here in the long run. And so these drivers that have basically old tires, it's not going to be that as beneficial for them. So we see these guys starting to roll around here side by side for the third position or second position. That's where Jamie Walker is right now, and seeing him try and make the pass. It's not going to quite happen right here, but he is looking on the inside. And the 6th of Tommy Ryan, he's trying the same thing, as you see him on board with him, and he's trying the inside a couple times as well. It's just right now it's not working out, and he's going to have to get a lot more momentum and really get to the bumper before he makes that move. As we start to look back behind these guys, they are 2 by 2 and even further. So the 91 of John Jenkins, he's going to be able to get around the number 10 here, and so those new tires are really helping Christian Peterson right behind him, trying to do the same.
Yeah, Christian Peterson's trying to work his way through the guys who have older tires, and those tires are not working out for Jeff Ryan, as he was the one who stayed out. It looks as though he's just really tight on that high side, just trying to maintain position, as he's kind of found a little niche behind Peterson and just ahead of Tim Matthews. As Tim Matthews looks inside of him, he might get a shot here into turn 1. It looks as though he might pull off turn 2, considering 10's tight. He's going to get a little run off the corner, and it stay side by side for now being. As we got a battle for lead up front, Jamie Walker is almost alongside Justin Michael going into 3, but on that bottom, he just gets so much of a run on the exit. Justin Michael pulls away.
Hey, Jamie had made a mistake right there, and this is one thing that I'm starting to watch is this battle, because Seth the Merchant has better tires than all 3 of them in front of him now, because of the fact that Jamie's trying to pass these guys right now, and I have a feeling that the Merchant's kind of smiling ear to ear, because he can't advance position with the 88 going to the bottom. So why not save your tires? Why not take it easy for a while? You don't have anyone behind you pressuring you. But a yellow flag is going to come out to prevent that, and it's happening. It looks like on the front straightaway. Oh, big wreck, and oh, we're going to have somebody come in the middle. Oh, the number 9 came in late on that one. The number 9 of Michael Warren came way late on that, and definitely has a lot of front-end damage as these leaders are starting to come into this one, and Michael Warren now has a blown engine because of it, so we'll get a restart of exactly, or a replay of exactly what happened here. Looks like happened in front or behind the number 14. Yeah, looks like some contact. That's the 11 of Shane Hawther. And so then there's the 14 getting tight, getting on the brakes, and then he gets tagged, and well, it's on from there.
Yeah, this is though when Terrell checked up for that wreck, Michael wasn't expecting that, just in the left rear, and all chaos happened behind them, as it was Terrell who spun. I believe that's the 69 of Randy Tester got in that. Scott Simley put up against the wall. Looks like he got a lot of damage as well. Bob Gilliwater, playoff contender, right on the edge. He got a little bit more damage, so making his night even worse. But also looking at this, Chris Cabot just barely missed that wreck on the bottom. As he had those quick reflexes, as everyone started to slide to the top, he just went down to the bottom and said, "Thank you, I'll take those spots," and missed that wreck.
A lot of drivers coming down pit road now to either fix damage or to well, end their night and stay there for a while, try and do what they can to fix the damage. Michael Warren looks like he got the worst of it, basically because he hit a parked car, and it's hard to slow down in these corners, and especially out of 4. I mean, out of all the corners to try and slow down for a wreck, that's the corner that's gonna probably get you the worst. But yeah, definitely caution was flown for a bit, but nonetheless, he does get involved in that one. So as we turn to lap number 35, see which drivers have pitted, which drivers haven't. A lot of guys came down pit road, but it looks like Jamie Walker and Justin Michael are going to switch positions. I do believe that they did come down pit road. So just about everyone has come down for tires this time around. Jamie Walker is going to lead the pack now, which I think is definitely suitable for this because he had the pole, and Justin Michael had just a little bit worse of a stop. Also to note, to the number 93 of Rich Jetty, he started 25th. Look at him now. He is all the way in third, but he actually came down pit road. So my bad, he's way back there. But our scoring loop said had to work around, but he comes out now and he should be right back on track. Yeah,
iRacing timeout only counts at the start-finish line, so it's hard to keep up with when they change positions on these cautions. But as you're saying, everyone came down pit road. I kind of expected that from everyone to come down. Well, we restarted on lap 10, I believe, and they've gone to lap 36 it is now. So it was a nice run on those tires, but they're pretty much used up now. If you dare stay it out, you're probably going to lose 10, 20 spots. So it was a good call by everybody. And as you said, Jamie Walker just got a really good pit stop there and got ahead of Justin Michael. But the tires staying out the first time, it's pay off for Justin Michael and Tommy Ryan as they're going to restart here in second and third. And the fresh tires have gotten Christian Peterson and Seth the Merchant up to 4th and 5th on this restart.
Few drivers out of this one already. Justin Kleber, he has pulled off for the night, and I believe Michael Warren, he has 7 laps down. He might be done for the night, and Greg Mall, he's still in the pits as well. So Jamie Walker, he will lead these guys to the 3rd restart of the night behind the iRacing pace car. And the pace car is now down and away. Jamie Walker gets a great start, green flag back in the air, into battle already for second with the 87 on the outside. Tommy Ryan's going to try and plunge his car to the inside to make it work. Not going to happen. Too much momentum on the outside, and so that's where it's basically where the strong line's going to be, as we still see side-by-side action coming out of 4. Tommy Ryan tries to squeeze him out. Oh, he bumps him, and this is going to give him the position. He's not going to quite have it. He's probably going to plunge it to 3, but he is really being aggressive here. I don't know if I was the 87. I don't know if I'd be happy with what he's doing, but he slides up right in front of him. Yep, I saw that happening. He's going to come back up. He's going to... Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw that coming. I don't know. You just can't make that move against somebody and expect to get away with it. And so the 87 did not let up. And with Tommy leaning on him so much, I mean, it's lap 41. I know Tommy needs the points, but, man, that was really aggressive racing right there.
Might be just a little bit too early for that kind of action, and Justin Michael wasn't having any of it to kind of send him off into turn 1 there as a thank you, just kind of move out of the way for right now. But Tommy Ryan did actually really save that up pretty well. As we have a caution on speedway, let's look around here, see if I can find it. Trying to find a car.
Having someone spun out, maybe Bobby Terrell or something. We'll have to take a couple looks here, but it looks like it must have happened in front of him.
That might have been a half spin, because iRacing triggers it if a car.
Oh, no, I'm seeing it right now. It looks like the 5 of Chris Gabot and Jeff Ryan got into it on the front straightaway.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks as though Chris Gabot just came off the corner and didn't have enough room to Jeff Ryan. He got loose and came down into him and right hooked Jeff Ryan down the front stretch as we look at our LSR replay. Yeah, it looked like a simple error on Chris Gabot. He saw that wall come up and kind of corrected and just accidentally turned Jeff. But it looks as though Jeff got the burst end of it. He has a ton of front end damage. I think Chris is going to have just a slight bit of front damage, but he should be fine.
Not a good day for him if he's going to try and contend for a championship here in 2 weeks' time, and so already 2 drivers outside the playoffs having issues. More than likely he'll take that one for the EOL, but yeah, Chris Gabot, it's basically just give him a good nudge and spins him out. So we will at this moment take a break just for a little bit, get our bearings straight, and take a pit stop for our own. You've been watching LSRTV's coverage of the VNCLR Landscaping Truck Series here at Bristol.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Welcome back here to Bristol as we pace behind the pace car. Still a couple laps at least before the green flag. Actually, I'm on replay, so we're coming to the green this time by. It looks actually the exact same because it's about 15 seconds of delay on the iRacing replay. Well, that's just about how much time it takes to get around this place. So as these guys come through turns 3 and 4, we will go back green flag racing just to the 1/4 mark here tonight. And there's the jump by the 88. Here he goes, and green flag back in the air for restart number 4.
Yeah, and Seth the Merchant had a really good restart. He gave up there and gave Justin Michael a shove down the front. It says Justin Michael's going to go to the outside of Jamie Walker going at 3. He got a really good run. Let's see if he can get off turn 4 and get alongside. As he does, they are even up going into turn 1. Jamie's been really strong on that bottom, but looks as though Justin Michael in that outside lane is just going to be really tough to beat as Justin Michael pulls even further along the slide. And look behind them, Seth the Merchant is just loving this. He's, as you said earlier, he's just going to save his tires, but as you look back up front, Justin Michael looks as though he's going to clear him, clear Jamie Walker here in about a lap or 2, or right now.
Teammates and teammates versus teammates and teammates. The first 2 are teammates. The second 2 are teammates. And looks like Jamie Walker's actually going to be a little easy on the 23, kind of the opposite strategy as the 6 had earlier. And I think Jamie is just going to let Christian by. Christian's been bad fast all night long. He's gone from 16th to 3rd, and he's going to get 2nd position right here. And Christian doesn't need to get any more big points, big wins, or anything like that to make the championship. He just needs to have good races, although good races can happen if you're at the front all the time. So Christian's going to try and nab this one before it's all over, but he's got to get to Justin Michael, and I got to oh my goodness, he's going straight to the bottom, and Christian's trying to do the big arc here, going straight to the bottom. It looks really aggressive, but he's getting some speed on the 87, and man, I don't know if that'll work in the long run, but he is absolutely going for it.
Yeah, he sends it in really deep, and he can really get to the middle of the corner and make up a lot of time, but once he gets to the middle of the corner, it just stalls out on him, and Justin Michael gets that run up the corner. If Christian keeps doing that, the front tires are going to be destroyed, so he just got back at the top and tried to settle in back there. As we looked at the field, I think we were all single filed out until we get back to about Scott Simley in 10th, I believe. Sorry, 11th. And he's battling Bob Gillenwater. It looks as though Bob is just barely hanging on to the side of Scott, and Scott might clear him off 4, and he does, but he does not like to go up to the very, very top, and looks as though Scott's going to get in line, and we're all going to be single filed out once again as we go further back to 14th to your next battle.
Yeah, we talk about Scott Simley. He won last week's race at Michigan. It was a big win for him to get that monkey off his back, but it's been a while since he won, since he did not win last season either, and so he finally gets that W and carries some momentum before the chase. But yeah, battle here for the 12th and 11th position, or 12th position, as we get a little bit hairy on the inside. The number 2, Michael Atkins Jr. tries to make the inside work on Robert Gillenwater, and Bob is not having it right there, as he's going to stay sturdy on the outside lane, and Michael's going to have to find another way around. It looks like he's also going to have the number 14 of Bobby Terrell on the inside of here, and Bobby's trying to get those positions too, so they had 2x2 just outside the top 10.
And Bobby's getting a good recovery for after being turned around and hitting turn 4, so if he can make up these spots, he's doing pretty good. Compared to Michael Atkins, Michael's got a clean car, so Bobby's doing a really, really good job of keeping up with him on the bottom. But yeah, that battle keeps going on. Looks as though Michael's going to clear him. Bobby's going to fill in line as he's got the 3 of Aaron Bennett peeking behind him. And Bobby's actually taking a look back at Michael, but it looks as though, oh, Michael actually got in the wall right there. So that's going to give Bobby a shot as they're even up going off of turn 2. And it looks as though there's speed. Bobby just can't get anything on the bottom right now. Outside's way too strong for that.
Looking at the top 5, the only driver not in the chase is Tommy Ryan. Then you look behind Tim Matthews, he's in as well. Looking on board of Aaron Bennett, my goodness, he got really close to the 14 of Bobby Terrell. That was very close quarters for those two as they still continue to fight side by side. And Aaron Bennett said he was going to be coming from the back and wanted, you know, he's in the chase already. He wants to take it a little bit easy, but never a slow and sluggish racer he is. But he's going to have to wait for these guys to sort it out before it's all over, as they are double file or 2x2, I should say, here. But going back out towards the front, Christian Peterson, he has claimed the lead from the 88 of Jamie Walker and the 87 of Justin Michael. So unsure what happened to Justin Michael as he was leading not too long ago, but he loses the lead to both of those drivers. And so looks like it just kind of happened slowly, but nonetheless, new leader Christian Peterson just kind of happened so anticlimactically, just going to the inside, and it happened now. These two drivers up front are trying to pull away from Justin and from Tommy.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing is, like, the people that are up front with, you're talking to your Christian Peterson, Jamie Walker, they're running the middle to bottom, as that's looking like the quicker line right now, as they're trying to get, well, for the middle line it keeps momentum up more than the bottom does, but I guess the bottom just has more grip because everyone's up on the high side. That track, when it gets really hot on the high side, as everyone runs up there, will be not the preferred line, so they're going to try and get out of that hot line, get the cool line, get those tires cooled off, and get good grip going around the track. And it looks as though that they're going to be pulled away right now.
7/10 is the separation between Christian Peterson and Jamie Walker, and I believe Jamie has been kind of catching him the last few laps by going to the very bottom of the track. We saw Christian Peterson do that earlier, and the way that can really help, the only really way that can work for you is if you go from the top of the track to the bottom, from corner exit to the apex of the turn, and Jamie will lose a little bit of time, but that can also, like we talked about, be the hardest on your tires. In long run, that's not going to help. 2 seconds behind Christian Peterson is where you'll find Justin Michael. So at this rate, and also battle for the 4th position, it's actually over already. Seth the Merchant gets around the number 6 of Tommy Ryan. So that happened fairly quickly. And I think Ryan has gone back to just having a little bit of a struggle, but still 5th place is not bad for what we saw earlier from him, having a couple of issues already, and 5th place not a bad place to be after all that. But it is clear skies behind him. He's got 1 driver and then a monster load of cars behind him. It starts with the number 5 of Chris Cabot and the 3 of Aaron Bennett, who's really trying to make that inside happen, and he's got a lot of speed here in the corners.
Yeah, Aaron Bennett's trying to make that bottom work, see if he can get anything on Chris Cabot. But yeah, the top 6 have just checked out, and then from then on back, all the way back to 16th, these guys are stacked up pretty deep. As we got behind the Chris Cabot and the Aaron Bennett battle, we got 2x2 back here with, I believe that is Rich Jett and Michael Priester. They're side by side. They've been side by side for at least the past 5 laps. It'll be interesting to see if Rich can actually get that spot off of Michael Priester, and he actually does right there and slides up in front of him and looks back towards Scott Formosa for the 11th spot. But yeah, there's a big gap on the cars back here. It'll be interesting to see if they get that sorted out and get single filed up as the leaders are running really quick times by themselves, or they keep battling.
And Rich Jetty, I mean, we've talked about him a lot. He has run basically in the top 10, just in the top 10 for most of the season, and he's still in the chase. It's really amazing to see. And here's Robert Gillenwater. He needs to have a fantastic race tonight, running on board with him in the outside lane, starting to catch up to the driver in front of him, which is Michael Priester in that number 64 machine. Or that's actually Ralph Van der Vorst in the 66 machine. And so Robert, he's got to have a stellar race. He pretty much needs to have 3 top 10s and hope that something bad happens. And he's got to pass the number 5 of Chris Cabot. Oh, wow, right in front of him. Right in front of him. Big damage on that machine. I don't know what in the world just happened, but it looks like the 66 tried to pass the 64, and it did not go well.
Yeah, this is though Ralph tried to use the bottom side to get a run on Michael Priester, and he almost had him cleared off turn 2, but he just came up in front of Priester, just got right hooked and flipped that truck going into turn 3. He was on his lid.
Yeah, it's on the replay. And on the replay right here, you see him go up the track and he just flips himself. I'll have to take a couple more looks at it. It didn't look like the 64 went down the track, and that he gets the 11 too, and he comes back down to hit the 91. But I have to think that he basically came across the nose there. But I'll take a couple looks here just to see if that is truly the case here.
Yeah, I believe it was, because I think Priester was pushed up against the wall, so he really had nowhere to go, I think, from watching it. But as it come down to pit road, everyone's hitting pit road right now.
Michael Priester stays out, Rich Jetty stays out, but they're going to come down the backstretch pit road, and that looks like to be the case. Is there's a lot of drivers with damage right now, and some drivers trying to salvage something here. And so we're watching all these drivers come down and watching them see what kind of strategies they do, see if anyone takes 2 tires. I think at this point in the race, that's where you'd see it, because you're kind of expecting tires or fuel not to be an issue at this rate. I think these guys can make it about 80 or 90 laps on fuel. So realistically, that's not going to be an issue unless we get a real long green flag run. And we'll only have 1 pit stop at that point. But everyone comes down for tires every single time. So it looks like we'll have Jamie Walker once again reclaims the lead from Christian Peterson off of pit road. Jamie Walker's got himself a good pit crew this race.
Yeah, this is those pit crews have finally worked out the 5-man pit stops now, and now we've reduced that 1 pit crew member. But yeah, one thing I wanted to point out was that caution came at a really good time for these leaders, as they were just getting into the back half of the field of the end of the lead lap cars. So usually when you get into that point, it's really tricky trying to get to the lap down cars. So, and I believe Jamie actually was starting to gain time on Christian before that the caution came out. So it was a good time for Christian Peterson to get that caution, but also on the other end, he lost the lead. So I mean, it can go either way.
So on lap number 83, I believe this is our 5th caution of the night, maybe. Yes, our 5th caution of the night for this race, and so looks like there's one driver looking to get the wave around. That's going to be John Wilco, and he'll be back on the lead lap. So for him, this is a good plan, just because of the fact that yeah, he may not have the fuel to make to the very to the end or and whatnot. But like I said, I think these drivers only have 1 pit stop till the end, so he's in a good position regardless. And I think anybody who plays the strategy here is going to be just fine, but not many drivers are going to do that. So the pace car's lights are off, and John Wilco will be waved around the pace car as we get double file.
Yeah, I'll also be interested to see if Christian Peterson can really fight Jamie Walker here in this restart. These two have been looking like the head dogs of the race so far, so I'll be interested to see if Peterson's high line versus Jamie's strong on the bottom. See if Jamie can actually use that bottom on the restart here and power off turn 2 and maybe take that lead away from Peterson and hold him off for a little bit.
As they come through turns 3 and 4, once again Jamie Walker will lead these guys to the restart box, and he is already off and away. Good restart by him, and know that he told Justin Michael when he was going, because this is going to help those 2 drivers out as they are on the bottom. Peterson strong on the outside, really strong as we come through. Oh wow, look at the cross. Peterson wants the lead right now. He's going to go straight to the bottom. It's not going to quite work out, though the 88 has the momentum on the outside, but that was fun to watch as he continues to push the bottom.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Christian Peterson tries to do that that line he did earlier, where he sends it in the corner and goes for Jamie Walker in there, but looks as though he's just going to settle in for right now, right ahead of Justin Michael. But yeah, that was a really good restart for Jamie. Got Christian Peterson sleeping on that restart. But yeah, looks as though everyone's got it all single filed out, as looks as though Jamie is going to start to get closed in by Christian Peterson, and they're running almost identical times, flip-flopping back and forth.
Yeah, just about everyone single file here, especially the top 10. Everyone realizes the time lost if they do not come down pit road, so they're trying to do that. Justin now is down to the very bottom here, and see behind Jamie Walker all these drivers and how much space they have. Here's something that we have not experienced all day with the leaders. Lap traffic. Wayne Dunn trying to look where to go, and he's going to stay on the bottom of the track, which that's typically what you do in the short track scheme of things. So he's going to stay on the bottom and stay out of the way while these guys go to the top side, and that happens at about every short track. It's not just at Bristol because the high line is really good. Typically see slower cars almost always go to the bottom side at short tracks like at a local short track. So Dwayne Dunn doing the typical thing, and he's going to stay on the bottom while all these fast drivers go around. It looks like Tommy Ryan and Merchant, they're going to be going at it once again here coming out of turn number 2. Ryan's trying to get right back with Seth Merchant.
Yeah, it's a nice little 3-car battle. I saw earlier before they got to Dwayne Dunn that Aaron Bennett's trying to use that bottom. As he right here, he like dives to the bottom of 1 and 2. He gets a great run to the middle of the corner, but it's once again that typical case. The outside's the place to be. As Aaron's just going to keep going down there. He really wants that inside lane to work. As it might come in again at the end of the run, but right now the outside is just too strong. As he's just going to file back in line right there and settle in and try to get a rhythm going. As we're all single filed out, the back half of the field is actually just going past Dwayne Dunn right now. And back up front, Jamie Walker is running away with this one.
Jamie Walker running array, but a caution flag will wave. It looks like Randy Tessar is in this one. He's involved in this caution, and it looks like maybe a little bit of 3 wide had to deal with this one. So looks like Ryan on the outside, Herring on the bottom, and unsure exactly what happened, but we'll take a look and get a replay up.
Yeah, like you said, it was 3 wide going into 3 right there. And let's just throw Randy just didn't really see the 98 who got a run coming up turn 2, and he kind of, I guess Randy checked up early for the corner, and he just turned himself across the nose of the 98 and got turned around and collected the 91 of John Jenkins. And it looks as though those two will have a lot of damage as Randy just took that right off the banking and try to gather it back up, and they're all going to come back around and get lined up for the pit stops.
Pit stops now occurring down pit road. Jimmy Walker going to lead these drivers, and the good these good drivers come down and get their service. Right side's up on that machine, and now the left side's up. And any drivers taking strategy? There's a couple drivers with strategy. Finally, we're seeing some guys do something different, and I believe it was Justin Michael taking 2 and Tommy Ryan taking 2 tires. I'll have to take a second look, but Tommy Ryan definitely yeah, they both took 2 tires only. So strategy call for these guys as they are going to they're going to be leading these guys.
Yeah, they like earlier, they stayed out on the first caution, so they're really trying to see how the track position works, maybe testing out the waters for the 2 tires, maybe for the end of the race in case the late race caution comes out. But more importantly, they got that track position right now, and the track position is really key, as it's really, really difficult to pass unless you move somebody out of the way on the high side. But maybe a smart move right here by Justin Michael. I think we only went about 4 or 5 laps on that last run. Oh no, sorry, we went further than that. With about 12 or 13 laps before that caution came out. So maybe testing it out, like I said, but right now it's just all about track position.
So we wait to see if the pace car will duck down or turn its lights off this time by, because that depends on whether we get a midway race break presented by iRacing. And so it looks like the pace car's lights stay on, and we will do just that. And we will we'll look at the midway race break brought to you by iRacing. And iRacing has been the leading online racing simulation, developed from the beginning as a centralized racing and competition service. iRacing organizes, hosts, and officiates races on virtual tracks all around the world. And in the fast-paced world of esports, iRacing is a one-stop shop for online racing with officially sanctioned racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, World of Outlaws, and many more. Justin Michael leads the way with Tommy Ryan in second. Jamie Walker, he is currently third with Christian Peterson, 4th, Seth the Merchant 5th. Aaron Bennett is in the 6th position with Bobby Terrell 7th, Tim Matthews 8th, Scott Simley 9th, and Scott Formosa 10th.
Yeah, Shane Hawther in 11th place right now, Chris Cabot in 12th, Michael Atkins Jr. in 13th, Bob Gillenwater 14th, Rich Jett 15th, Michael Priester 16th, George Hendricks 17th, John Wilco 18th, Dwayne Dunn 19th, and she's just reset on me, Steve Herring is going to be on 20th.
21st, Dwayne Dunn. Jeff Ryan, 22nd. Kyle Manger, 23rd. John Jenkins, 24th. Ralph Vandervorst, 25th. Greg Mull, 26th. Michael Warren, 27th. Justin Kleber, 28th. And Matt Mara finished the night 29th. So that's been a look at your iRacing Midway race break as we are about to go green with Justin Michael leading this charge. And we're going to get a restart. 101 laps to go here at Bristol. And Jamie Walker, he will have the good tires on the bottom, but DeMerchant almost gets into him right there, and he is able to be clear. So looks like the top side still where it's at, even with those 2 tires, and I just have to believe 2 tires is just not the call right now, but we'll see how it goes halfway into this race.
Yeah, Jamie just really had a really bad restart there. I think he got the apron and kind of checked himself up, but yeah, Jamie's in a really bad spot in those 2 tires because he's pinched on that bottom. He's just getting really stressed on that left front tires as he's got the 57 of Seth DeMerchant on the outside going around him. But Justin Michael is actually holding up pretty well in the lead right now. As I think that Tommy Ryan is in second, so I think he's just going to sit there a little bit, wait for Justin Michael's tires to die, or we're going to have Christian Peterson dive back to the bottom once again. Going to go right past Tommy Ryan almost as they're door-to-door going into 3, and Christian sends it into 3 and easily clears him before the middle of the corner. But Tommy Ryan's got this runoff turn 4. He's going to send it back on the bottom, just like Christian Peterson did to him, but to no avail. Christian Peterson is going to get the runoff turn 2 and just pull ahead.
I think for the number 6 of Tommy Ryan, it's going to kind of backfire here because of the fact that now DeMerchant and company are going to be on the outside. I mean, he may be able to slide back into 4th position, but Jamie Walker's going to start coming and get closer to DeMerchant, and it's going to be harder for him to slide up, but looks like the 6 is going to slow down intentionally so he can do that. One thing about that is it just slows down his overall speed. So Jamie Walker is going to look to the inside right here. And like you said, had not the best restart, and he's going to have to really push to get around him to the inside. So Jamie Walker goes all the way down to the bottom and will look to use those 4 tires to an advantage. Now, these drivers took right side tires, Tommy Ryan and Justin Michael. So that'll help them get into the corner a lot better. It's that exit speed, as you know, Michael, that is going to really be hindered quite a bit with the lack of tires.
Yeah, and with the 2 right side tires, the momentum is going to be really hard to keep up as you go to the corner. You just have so much stress on those right sides, but the left sides can't keep up with the fresh right sides. So it's hard to get anything coming off the corner, but it's all about just maintaining that speed on that high side, just getting the run, getting the right arc, and make sure you're not killing your tires doing that. As your caution on speedways, look around and see where that is. I believe that was the 10 of Jeff Ryan coming off turn 4. It looks as though he got into a Greg Mall, I believe, as we pull up a replay. Just taking a look.
Yeah, that is the case.
Yeah.
It looks like he gets tagged. And Greg Mall was committed to the bottom, and, well, the 10 comes down all the way, and Greg Mall was already there. So, basically a half spin that created the caution, as you're seeing on the replay, and I think it's one of those things where the iRacing service saw a car go about halfway around, and it's going to throw it just about every time that happens. So while we are under caution, I say that this is a good time to go to commercial break. We'll be right back here on LSRTV with the B&C Lawn Landscaping Truck Series here at Bristol.
Hi, I'm Ryan Priest. I'm driving the number 20 JGR Toyota Xfinity car this weekend. Really great opportunity here at New Hampshire at my home track. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been on iRacing, practicing a little bit here and there with the modified and the NASCAR Xfinity car. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great tool for me to kind of get used to that stock car body again and be prepared for the race today. Well, yeah, it's a mile long, so the draft kind of plays into effect here with the modifieds. Punches a big hole in the air, and we run restrictor plates. So it makes a big difference. Just really fast, and it's our Daytona. So that's what's great about it, and we have a fast car for tomorrow. I think the biggest thing is they're heavier cars. The tire's a lot different. And the way you go about setting them up is a lot different. They use all 4 tires more than a modified, where we typically drive off the right rear, you know, so. Well, actually, it's funny. I raced NASCAR race in 2003 before iRacing came about. And then when iRacing came about, my friend Kevin Iannarelli, who works at iRacing, kind of told me, hey, man, you need to switch over to this. And And when I did, I was like, oh my God, this is like real life. So I started using it as a tool of mine to really prepare for modified races, whether it was Stafford or Thompson or Loudon, Bristol, and then obviously the Xfinity Series last year, going to road courses, trying to get laps, and use it as a tool that can get me as prepared as I could be without actually doing it. So it's been great.
Here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, Jeff Ryan is the leader here, coming through turns 3 and 4 on lap 114. He will these guys to the green flag with Christian Peterson. He's got a pretty beat-up racetrack, but he's going to attempt to lead these guys here, and he gets a great start, actually. I'm not sure how this is going to go with how beat up his racetrack is, but he's going to give it his best shot as Christian Peterson goes down to the bottom, and looks like, oh no! No, no, no! Oh!
Right.
Yikes!
Oh, nice to keep it green. Oh, Christian. Wow.
Bennett has a blown engine, but they were going to continue to go green. I kind of saw that coming, but no caution is going to be displayed as the iRacing folks did not waive it. So Christian Peterson, Bobby Terrell, Tim Matthews, they will continue to go. And man, you just kind of saw that happening with the speed that these guys have in the truck that just did not have the speed, and then just hooked itself.
Yeah, I think the 10 at Jeff Ryan kind of stayed out in the restart. He just got really tight off too. He just came down and turned himself almost off the front end. I believe that was Aaron Bennett, but yeah, it took out a lot of good cars. Aaron Bennett's hurt. I believe Seth the Merchant got turned around as well, but it hurt a lot of good cars, and I thought for sure we were going to have the whole field pile in the way he was coming back on the track coming into 3, but everyone did a really good job of avoiding the rest of that wreck and got it all filed out.
So Jeff Ryan still stays out there. He's in 11th, 12th position. These drivers, you know, he has a lot of damage now with hitting the outside wall, but this changes the complexity of this race and, for a big portion of drivers, as Christian Peterson now has a big lead over Bobby Terrell, who's, I mean, he was spun out at one point in this race, and he finds himself in the 2nd position. Looking back to the number 57 of Seth the Merchant, you can see him running in 11th position. He was well inside the top 10. He's going to try and get that back from the number 2 of Michael Atkins Jr. His truck looks pristine right now, and he wants to try and make sure that stays that way. And I don't think the Merchant has much damage. He looks like he got tagged, which is why he got spun out. Looks like somebody had rear-ended him, so he's going to attempt to get some of those positions back, as this field is actually very spread out now.
Yeah, just looking at the standings real quick, the top 10 are separated by 6 seconds with many gaps in between them. You have to go all the way back to, I believe, about 13th with Jeff Ryan and Rich Jett, where they're battling for the 13th spot. That's really your first closest battle on track right now. So, yeah, this field's really spread out. Be interested to see how, well, actually, if they bunch up together again as these tires wear out, as to the people who got spun, maybe if they get back up to the front or not, or the people in the front kind of get back together. But as they look back up front, Jamie Walker, Tim Matthews, and Justin Michael are battling out for that 3rd spot, as they're close with each other right now.
Yeah, here just inside the podium and outside the podium, it looks like Matthews is being contested for the position. Justin Michael has had a fast truck all night and is trying to make something happen of it. Behind him, also just Jamie Walker is going to try and do something here. But with this action off of the restart, I mean, this is propelled the race into something I don't think these guys were nearly expecting. You know, we weren't. Kind of saw that we might have a few issues, but definitely was not expecting that. So Christian Peterson has just about a 1 second lead over Bobby Terrell, and Bobby's doing everything he can because he's got a pretty beat up racetrack. He was spun out earlier, and so Jamie Walker gets 2 drivers right there. Actually, he's going to get both of them right there. He gets Justin Michael and Tim Matthews, so he's going to get both drivers.
Yeah, Jamie Walker's really powering off that bottom lane right now, or the middle of the bottom. Looks as though that top side's just kind of fading away. If you look further back, Tommy Ryan for the 6th spot right here, he's on the inside of Tim Matthews. Even Tommy's trying to make that bottom work. He's having a pretty good time of it as he almost got to the side of Matthews, but looks as though he just didn't get the run off turn 2. But it looks as though the bottom is really starting to get into it. Like, I think the hot side's just getting a little bit too hot right now, but maybe that'll come back to it. But as you look up front again, the leaders are getting to some heavy traffic. Christian Peterson's about to come up to a 4-car pack up here going into turn 1. I think Jamie's going to have a good time trying to get up to the front right here. He'll gain a lot of time as Christian Peterson goes through these lap cars.
Yeah, it's 1.6 seconds back to Jamie Walker, and so yeah, starting to look at that happening right here. We were just on board with Tommy Ryan, who's still trying to get around Tim Matthews. Matthews kind of just got this position handed to him as I think he was on the outside lane when that happened. He was able to get by everything. So at the time being, we're still looking at Peterson. He is currently, like you said, navigating this traffic, and you can see all those race sharks trying to get around and make something happen. And just get clear of everything. So he's going to get around Steve Herring and Jeff Ryan once again. That just shows you the speed that the 10 car has after the damage. I mean, he's lapping the car who started the restart right now. So only in a few laps time is that happening. So Jeff will have to basically make that truck come down pit road at least some point in this race to get the damage fixed. I'd say before the night's over. And speaking of pit road, I don't think these guys have to come down for fuel anymore. I think we are good to the end because of that last caution.
Yeah, I believe everyone can make it in on those last set of tires and fuel, but if anyone decides to come down, it's really a waste because they're going 2 laps down. There's no way you make it up even with fresh tires. Fresh tires mean a lot, but they don't mean 2 laps worth. But as you look back to 2nd place right here, Jamie Walker has made up a lot of time on Bobby Terrell. He almost got to his door right there going into turn 4, but going through exit of 2 right here, looks as though he's a little bit further back, but looks as though Jamie's closing in bit by bit as they're making their way through these lap cars.
Yeah, Jamie Walker has the truck to beat Bobby Terrell right now. Bobby's really got a great position, and I'm not sure how we got up there. I mean, we know that the wreck definitely helped him, but I don't know if he tried strategy and whatnot, but it's definitely helping as you're looking at Jamie Walker, looking on the inside of him right now. It's basically just a ride along for him at this point. Just he's not down for the count per se, but he's very mangled up. You can see the whole side of the truck is pretty beat up, and so Jamie looking on the inside, basically door to door with them right now, and he's gonna have to fall back a little bit as the truck is gonna get in the way, and Jamie's going to have to do one or two things. He's gonna have to go 3 wide, or very close quarters for him in the 98 right there.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's a tough deal where you have the lap car, you're side by side, one person has to give. But other than that little situation right there, every lap car has been actually really cordial and just let it go. As Jamie Walker does actually get around Bobby Terrell right there, going off of turn 2, going into 3. Yeah, but other than that, like I said, the lap cars are being really cordial. They're getting out of the way, running the bottom, letting the leaders go wherever they want to run. Looks as though they're having an easy time of it getting around these lap cars.
For the time being, that is the case. So we'll take a look at your top 10 right now, because it's definitely a lot different than what we had just discussed not too long ago during the midway race break. So Christian Peterson leads over Jamie Walker by 1.7 seconds, and Bobby Terrell finds himself third. We got a truck blowing up in front of these guys, and that's going to be Greg Mall. He's going to try and get his way down pit road very quickly. So he's down and away, and he actually spins out in his box, actually. So I think he'll just I don't know. He'll figure something out. But he spins out right in his box. His crew's already there to probably pack up the truck and get ready to go home on that one. But to round the rest of the top 10, Justin Michaels in 4th, where he started actually. Tommy Ryan's in 5th. Tim Matthews 6th. Chris Cabot, good night for him. He needs to keep it up. In 7th, Seth the Merchants in 8th. And then you got Michael Atkins Jr. and Shane Hawther 9th and 10th. So that rounds up the top 10. And it's a big cluster here with this top 10 group because there's a lot of lap cars in the middle of this. Jeff Ryan, John Wilco, Jordan Hendricks, they are on the inside. And there's all these drivers trying to get around. Seth the Merchant trying to get around the number 5 Chris Cabot. They got to get around these lap trucks first, and they're not having it. And looks like the Merchant's going to use the number 10 as a pick. And the number 5 is going to go around. Oh, and that's not going to be good because he's off the racing surface. Chris is off the racing surface, so he's going to have to cause a caution to get back up. But actually,
no.
Wow, Chris is going to play the gentleman's card and spin it around towards the inside wall and not create a caution. And this basically ends his hopes of having a chase. So, wow, for the integrity of the race, I have to say that's a really cool thing to see from the number 5 Chris Cabot. This basically ends his chances unless he's got 2 stellar weeks next week. So, I'd say big round of applause for him.
Yeah, this is though he just got really tight right there because of Jeff Ryan. As you look at the replay right now, yeah, Jeff Ryan got in the wall. I believe Chris actually got in the wall as well, but they just hit the wall, came down, Jeff checked up, and then Chris got turned by, I believe that was the, if I'm looking at it correctly, hold on one second.
62.
Yeah, Wilco, John Wilco, yeah. So, yeah, and like you said, Chris Cabot did the really nice thing and just kept them on the bottom. It just kept it down there and make sure not caution it come out. So we take green right here as the action keeps going on.
And I'm looking at the number 88, Jimmy Walker, getting around Robert Gillenwater, another chase driver, or potential chase driver who needs to have a good day. He's going to go lap down, but he's in 12th position, so not a terrible day. Could be worse for him, but he's going to go much farther back, or he's going to be lap down, so he's got to really fight to stay on that lead laps, Sadis, and really keep his truck clean the rest of the night. But developing a story with the leaders here, Christian Peterson only leads by 7/10 over Jamie Walker. Now, I don't know if that had to deal with entirely with the lap traffic, but Jamie Walker has been a fast truck all day, and Christian Peterson, he's typically one to figure out the truck as the race goes on because he doesn't typically qualify. So him right now being in the lead, only 7/10, is not surprising to me, as Jamie is now still closing the gap just a little bit every single lap, but I think he's able to pull every once in a while too. So it's kind of a give and take between these two drivers. I think they're equally fast, and about less than 50 laps to go. This one actually is starting to go by pretty quickly. This is a 200 lap race, not a 200-mile race, which definitely makes this race a lot different than most of them.
Yeah, it's a really short race once you see how fast these trucks are going, these 16-second lap times. But yeah, Jamie Walker and Christian Peterson have basically just been swapping lap times the past few laps. Christian Peterson's been just a little bit quicker these past few laps, but looking ahead of him, he's got about 6 or 7 trucks he's got to deal with right here that are battling hard on that high line. So Jamie was going to try and take advantage of this. And I think it's got really close right there with Jeff Ryan coming off turn 4 with Christian Peterson. That's not the first time we've seen that tonight, but it's just really close quarters right there. Jeff Ryan just not giving these guys many room.
Yeah, he's staying at the bottom with that wrecked race truck. He's trying to just keep it off the wall and off of all these drivers as these drivers are coming really quick. And Christian Peterson, oh my goodness, he's got 2 wide in front of him, 2x2, and he's got nothing but back bumpers in front of him. He's going to he's got to be very careful here. He's got a lot of drivers that are hungry for their positions, but he's also got to think about himself. He's basically helping the Whiskey River truck in front of him try and get a little bit more speed as they are still fighting. And Jamie Walker's going to have to get through this too, as it looks like they're getting through it nicely, at least at the moment. Jamie Walker trying to get by Scott Formosa, who started 2nd place, so he's falling back quite a bit. But remember, he's in 10th, getting lapped down for the first time, so he's not getting lapped down multiple times. So 40 laps to go. We're coming to 39, and thought that was going to be a bigger hinder to Christian Peterson, but looks like it is not. As actually, the difference between the two drivers is about 5/10 now. So not terrible for Jamie Walker right now, but he is starting to lose a little bit more time once again. as the 39 of Dwayne Dunn just comes up a little bit, almost gets into his door, but it is able to stay off of him as we are hitting about 1 lap 63.
Yeah, and the top two are really setting up the straight pace right now. They have lapped all the way up to...
Holy cow, did you see that? The number 57 of Seth the Merchant threads the needle between those two drivers and actually gains a position. Holy cow, that was incredible to see. I just saw that in the corner of my eye on the mixer, but that was insane. He went between Aaron Bennett and the number 54 of Tim Matthews and got a position between that.
Yeah, it was a really, really good move right there by Seth. I honestly thought Tim Matthews almost came up into him, or was going to at least, but yeah, very smart move right there. As he gains 2 spots right there, and he's find himself in 6th spot. He's still far way back, but he's got a little bit of time to work with. Maybe he can get up there and fight for 4th and 5th.
You're seeing the number 3 of Aaron Bennett back out there on the track. He is 28 laps down, and if he has a situation like the number 12 of Greg Mall, he's probably going to have a blown motor later on because it was just smoking. But I don't think the motor will be able to last the rest of the race. He's just trying to stay out there for, well, I just think for just trying to stay out there. He's basically locked into the chase, but at least keep a few more points in the back pocket. But he's a little, I don't know if he's faster than Seth, but he's at least keeping up pace with him right now. As Seth does have some left side damage, he's trying to try and do what he can to just make it to the end of the race, 6th place. And a lot of drivers with damage, and you go in front of him, and Tommy Ryan, he still has a fairly decent racetrack. That right side is a little bit pounded in, but doing just fine. And even further forward, it'd be Justin Michael in 4th place, kind of just by himself at the moment, but in the mix of some light traffic just a little bit ago. But he's passed everybody right about now, and there's Bobby Terrell behind him trying to just get around it all. And like I said earlier, Bobby's just trying to get to the end of this race because it'll be a really nice one at the end of the day for him, despite the damage that he had earlier.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good point day for him if he can finish out in 4th place right here. It looks like he might be able to as we come to 30 to go right here. But I was just watching this battle, and Justin Michael just got past Bobby Terrell a few laps ago. Bobby was having a real tough time getting around Shane Hoff 11, as he's putting up a really hard time, as he is right now with Bob Gillenwater. But yeah, Justin Michaels really found some speed right here. So for late, I believe he's almost running the same times as the leaders. He's actually running a little bit quicker than Jamie and just a little bit slower than Chris. So he's found some speed here late. But also I want to mention, as soon as you said something about the blown engines, I believe Scott Formosa blew up, and he is actually done for the race.
He was running in 10th position at that time, so he, along with a few others, will have to cut the night short here as we are just to the 25 lap mark, or just shy of it really, as we are really waiting to see if anything will happen that'll break Christian Peterson and Jamie Walker of what they're currently doing, and they're basically staying stable. But continuing to watch number 4, Robert Gillenwater. He is in the 11th position, trying to get past Shane Hawthorne. These two are a lap down, but nonetheless they're still battling for position, and they both need to fight, or at least the number 4 does. Oh my gosh, look at that move, and almost worked. He did not have enough momentum, but he definitely really charged the inside, and I think he might try and do the same here. Shane looks a little bit slow here off the corners, but that top side, nonetheless, it's just really strong, and always has been tonight. It's just looking at least at the moment that Robert is not getting enough momentum. He's going to have to come back up to the top and try again, and he's got George Hendricks behind him, who's a couple laps down. He's not going to be in the fight for position, but he might make a factor of this fight.
Yeah, and he actually does get on the outside of Bob and might actually hinder him and make Bob lose a little bit more time here. But Bob really needs that spot, as he's really in the points battle, especially with Chris Cabot having a bad night in 18th right now. He can make up a lot of points on Chris and maybe just hold on to the back of Matthews' point gap as he gets a little bit further towards the playoffs here with less than 3 races to go. So he really needs a spot, and he's still looking on the inside. They almost sent him in a turn. Oh, a turn right here almost. He
saves it.
Great.
He saved it. Yeah, he got ran into, but I can't blame the number 34 of Jorge Hendricks for being there, because he basically slid right up in front of him. But Robert's trying everything he can. He knows what's on the line. He has to have 2 stellar races, and tonight looks like it's just gonna be an okay one, as he's gonna finish just shy of the top 10 if he can't improve from his current position. So Yeah, the number 5 is also going to have a bad night. And looking at the points after this race is going to really give us a solid picture of who's going to make it into the chase. And I think we could already, if we had tonight's results, finished, but we'd definitely see that. But Rich Jetty, he's coming down pit road. Don't know if this is scheduled or not, but nonetheless, he has to come down pit road. So he'll stop from 17th position, and the farthest back he can go really is 22nd. So 5 positions is where he's going to really sit at the moment. So Christian Peterson continues to lap some guys, and he has the top 6 under his belt, and everyone behind there, 7th on back, they are 1 lap down. So not what you expect from Bristol, but it has come to that, and mainly because of that restart. That really started everything as we were under 20 laps to go.
Yeah, everyone who's still on the lead lap is actually really spread out. The closest battle we have right now is Tommy Ryan, Seth the Merchant for that 5th spot, as Tommy is just on the outside of Seth the Merchant. Seth's looking on that bottom, see if he can get a run on Tommy Ryan, who's got the 34 of George Hendricks, I believe that is. Yeah, that is. George is really holding up Tommy right here, but Seth just can't get a run right now. But yeah, as I was saying, Christian Peterson has really set a blistering pace. Like I said, all the way to 6th place, that's really, really strong.
So we got a little bit of action in front of your leader, Christian Peterson. Looks like Seth the Merchant's going to send it 3 wide once again. We've seen this before. And he's going to get around Tommy Ryan using the lap traffic. And this is just in front of your leader here, too. And Tommy Ryan is going to try and get back at the Merchant right here. And Tommy Ryan, he's not in the chase picture, but the Merchant is. So I have to keep that in mind as they keep rolling by. And Christian Peterson is already back to the back bumper. He might be able to lap everybody but the top 4 if he keeps at this pace. And he's right down to the bottom under Tommy. Tommy is staying to the outside, but he's going to be behind Shane Hawther, who is quite considerably slower. So he is now past him. He's going to be lapping all but the top 5 right here. It's pretty impressive. And so he'll have only about 11 laps to go this time by. And what a dominant performance we've seen from Christian Peterson in the past. If he wins tonight, it'll be a 6th win of the season. He'll have the most. He'll have won the most times already in a season at this point in the season.
Yeah, considering where he is in points, he's only run 11 of the 70 races we've run so far, so he's done a really good job to get up at the points, as he's also shown another performance tonight and adding to those wins. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if he actually laps his teammates at the Merchant right here. It'd be interesting to see if they have chatter in TeamSpeak, but yeah, it's just a strong performance, and the whole field's just kind of strung out ever since that restart. Yeah, they've all just been single file for the most part. A few battles here and there, but clean so far for a really long run right here.
And when these guys got spread out, it was hard for these guys to really battle, especially with the damage that a lot of these guys sustained without a caution. So Christian Peterson does lap his teammate, Seth the Merchant. These guys have been longtime teammates for quite some time, and so it looks like the 23. Oh, it's getting close, and the Merchant's gonna try and have a little bit of fun with the Peterson right here, and I don't think the Merchant has the racetrack to do so. So the top 4 is now all that's on the lead lap, and that's quite a statement from the speed and the action that we had on that restart. So looks like John Wilco will get out of the way of these leaders, let them by, and you'll find Jamie Walker quite a ways back. And really, it's a waiting game for these guys, and we are almost to the point of no return. Next lap, if there's a caution, it's over. So, or that point on at least. So, as soon as I say that, 15 seconds later, Christian Peterson will get the 5 laps to go. Caution out now. Race is over.
Yeah. iRacing doesn't have those green-white checkers, so past that 5 laps, as you said, that'll be the caution. But this race is very, very reminiscent of when we went to Daytona a few weeks ago. Only a handful of drivers on the lead lap, but he's already lapped up to 4th place right here. So yeah, it really reminds me of that, where everyone's also spread out as well. But really, really, like you said, strong performance. Everyone's holding their position. And also got to give out big shout out to Bobby Terrell. He's still held up to that 4th place, and he's doing a really good job. But he's actually catching up to Justin Michael, going through 3 and 4 right now, who's battling Scott Simley, even though he's lapped down, just trying to get around him right now.
We'll have 2 laps to go this time by with your leader, Christian Peterson. We'll monitor the difference between those 2 guys. Christian gets the 2 laps to go. Double popsicle sticks in the air from good old friend Jacob. So as Christian Peterson comes through turns number 3 into turn number 4, he will receive the white flag, and like we talked about, stellar performance by him. He just kind of was in the right place at the right time on that restart, just happened to be in a good position, and as he follows behind Jeff Ryan, he'll go the inside. He'll have to slow down a little bit, make sure he knows where to go, but Christian Peterson comes off turn number 4 and will take his 7th checkered flag of the season in dominating fashion once he was clear. And so give it to Christian Peterson as he is in, I think, let me take a look here. He was in 11th position before this race. That's the most that definitely propel him forward and to a really good position for the final 2 races of the season. Or the regular season, that is.
Yeah, he should move up a considerable amount of spots, as Matt Mara just, I don't think he even raced tonight. Seth the Merchant had even though he finished in the top 10, he had a really bad performance with having the wreck earlier in the race. Scott Formosa, like I said, he blew up earlier. Michael Atkins was a lap down. But so yeah, Christian could make up a lot of spots right here and put a lot of these guys who felt like they were comfortable on the bubble and have a lot of pressure going these last 2 races.
So that concludes tonight's 200 lap race, and we'll go through your full field rundown right now. Christian Peterson leads, and he is still celebrating after his victory. Jamie Walker finishes 2nd, Justin Michael 3rd, and Bobby Terrell finishes 4th. That is your lead lap drivers, as you're seeing. Merchant, he finishes 5th, 1 lap down. Michael Atkins Jr. 6th. Tommy Ryan will finish 7th. I think Michael Atkins Jr. actually got around him, so Tommy Ryan lost another position between that before that one was over. Tim Matthews 8th. Scott Simley finishes a very quiet 9th, and Bobby Terrell, or goodness, Bob Gillenwater finishes 10th. I don't know where Bobby Terrell came from, but that's your top 10.
Shane Hawthor is going to finish 11th. Michael Priester 12th. Steve Herring 13th. Kyle Manger had an incident earlier. He never was able to cover. Finish at 14th. Randy Tester 15th. First driver 3 laps down. Dwayne Dunn 16th. George Hendricks 17th. Tough night for Chris Cabot, who was looking for a really strong performance at the point standings. Going to finish at 18th. Jeff Ryan 19th. And John Wilco 20th.
21st finishes Rich Jetty, with Jenkins finishing 22nd. Scott Formosa blew that engine, and so he would finish 23rd. Same with Aaron Bennett and Greg Ball, who finished 24th and 25th. Ralph Vandervorst, he would finish 26th. Michael Warren 27th. Justin Cleaver finishes 28th, and like you said, I don't know if Matt Morrow ran any laps tonight, so he would theoretically finish 29th tonight. So that's been a look at your full field rundown with the BNC Long Landscaping Truck Series. We'll talk with Christian Peterson, Jimmy Walker, and Justin Michael here in just a little bit around the corner. You've been watching LSRTV's coverage of the United Sim Racing League.
Really enjoy dirt racing. Feels good to get in the car, and we have great cars and engines and things at KKR, so it's nice to drive a fast sprint car.
Couple of separate lines developing, 3 wide action on a turn 2. Craig Kinzer, Casey Kane, and Garrett Pittman going at it.
I think the differences between NASCAR and the sprint races on dirt is just a much different mindset. The way you drive your cars, the setup, the feel you're looking for. I think one of the hardest things to tell as a fan is when you're watching a race, whether it's a NASCAR race, a dirt race, is just what's really going on in the car. With iRacing, you can get the way that the track's changing, which they've done a great job in how the track changes throughout the night or throughout the race, just to try to capture it and let the fans play it and realize, like, man, there's actually a lot going on, and you can't always see that when you watch a race. So I think it's pretty neat. It's enjoyable for me, but at the end of the day, it's actually much of a simulation, and there's a lot of ways that you can learn from that. And early on, it was neat to look at the Cup tracks that I was going to, places that I had never been. So I think it kind of gives you a head start leading into a weekend. It's pretty real life, and that's pretty neat.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSRTV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Live Sim Racing LLC and iRacing.com Motorsport Simulations. LSRTV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.
Welcome back to the Bristol Motor Speedway as Christian Peterson has taken the checkered flag after an eventful night of racing. We'll talk to your victor right now. Here, Christian Peterson in victory lane. Christian, 7 wins on the season. I do believe that is a season record, and we're not even to the next part of the season, but a stellar performance for you. And what happened on that restart? I think that was one of the biggest things we want to know is how are you able to judge where the 10 went, because you actually had to go down the track and you could have been easily collected on that one.
Yeah, I to be honest, I was expecting something to not go so well. Just by he wasn't like, you know, reckless or anything. It was just earlier in the race he was holding up the top a little bit, so, and I knew he was like kind of 15 lap older tires, so that is going to, you know, put him at a little disadvantage too. So I don't know, I thought he was going to stay bottom, but he got a good jump and I didn't really I didn't time it that well, and he got clear and moved middle, so I was just like, all right, screw it, let's go bottom. And I'm trying to get back to the replay here, but I don't know, I glanced right just with my screen, with my button, saw that he was kind of heading towards the wall, and Jeremy was spotting me a little bit, and he said he was getting tight, so I just made sure I kept it pretty far down coming off the corner. I didn't want to lose any speed, so I stayed in it and just made sure I like hucked it down once I got on the straightaway, and I think we just barely missed it. I think some of my teammates said I thought I got hit, but I don't think we got any damage. But yeah, it was really close, and that's basically what was going through my mind.
Well, this is a great race for you. You know, we talked about how all you basically have to do is get some good finishes. You don't have to have stellar finishes to make this the second part of the postseason, as we'll call it, the chase. You just have to have good races, but coming in here and grabbing the checkered flag is one way to have a good race, a decent race, and you had a stellar race. Do you come into these races kind of expecting to win these, or have you come into these trying to have good races just to prepare for that time to come?
I mean, if I'm going to show up, I'm going to try to, you know, if I show up, I expect to have a shot at going to victory lane every week. I mean, I don't mean to sound cocky, but it's just, it's not that I won't, if I feel like I'm not going to win, it's not, I won't race. That's not it either. It's just, I don't know. I like the competition, and I mean, it's some of these tracks are just really good for me. Like Bristol is definitely one of my favorites. I love it in the Tour mod. I love it and everything. So just the short tracks are like what I like, and the road courses, and even the 1.5 miles I've just been getting better at. So I don't know. We'll just see where it goes, and yeah, just trying to keep putting in victory lane.
Christian, you've been doing a fantastic job this season on the times that you've been here, and really you've basically, it's almost, I think it's a little over 50% of the time that when you're here you do win, which is a very striking statistic for these guys when they get the chase time, because you really can't miss many races there in the chase. So before we let you go, we give shout outs and sponsors to who makes it happen, and anything special you need to say it.
Just everybody at P Money Designs, and or not everybody, sorry, Preston at P Money Designs is a new truck. Everybody at Vincier, Jeremy, Dustin, we had a couple guys spotting. I think Jeremy was spotting me, and Dustin was spotting Seth, and Manger was in there with us running. So we had a couple guys in there, and that was a lot of fun. So everybody at Vincier and 6-man, and I think my parents are downstairs watching. Shout out to my girlfriend right here. She's cheering me on. Thank you, baby. And yeah, I don't know. That's it. Thanks, you guys in the booth.
There you have it. Christian Peterson gets his 7th win on the season, and we'll look to see and expect to see, I'd say, great things from you in the postseason or in the chase. So we'll talk to you then there, Christian.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, we'll pass it down to Michael, who will catch up with Jamie Walker in the number 88 machine. He finished his 2nd place tonight.
Yeah, as points leader, Jamie Walker finishing second tonight. Hey, Jamie, talk about how this race unfolded for you and how you were able to get to that second place finish tonight.
Ever since we unloaded, this truck has been real good all week long, so I don't know, I guess I just have to say I got lucky and stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, it was really hard to keep up with the pace of Christian Peterson. Talk about how hard it was to work the lines, make sure you can keep the time on him, as you were one of the last four on the lead lap of the entire race.
There was times I felt I was faster than him, and I'd start to overdrive it, and I'd burn my stuff up. That's what happens, And if you overdrive it, you fall back.
Indeed, you do. Also, one thing we noticed tonight were the lap cars. For the most part, they were out of the way, but there were a few cars that just kind of got in the way a little bit. Did any troubles trying to get through those lap cars? And if so, how were you able to manage your way through them?
Truthfully, I didn't really have that much trouble with the lap cars. I think if they were fighting harder with the leader, and then after the leader went by, they just kind of let me go. So I guess I kind of lucked out on that one.
All right, and also one last question real quick. We saw you both in the high line and the low line. Which one did you really prefer? Because we saw you set it in the bottom on a few times and try and get that huge run to the middle of the corner to get some spots.
There felt like there was a lot more grip on the bottom. If you drove it just right, you could really get a good run. So that's what I preferred. To just, like I said, you were burning it up down there, but I liked it down there on the bottom.
All right, a bottom feeder indeed. So, anyone you want to shout out right here? Anyone who gets it done for you here, Jamie?
Well, of course, all you guys who appear in the booth, you guys do an awesome job. All my teammates down here at Young Guns Motorsports, they work with me all week long, and everybody in the BNC lawn and landscaping crew, they put on an awesome show.
All right, Jamie, that's your second place finisher tonight. Jamie Walker finishing second, your points leader going into next week. And I believe Austin has caught up with third place finisher Justin Michael.
Yes, sir. How are you? I caught up with Justin Michael. Really, you're one of four drivers who finished on the late lap, and this race turned out to be had a caution here and there for the first half, and then from the second half we had that real messy start, and then green flag from there. And how are you able to salvage third place after all of that?
I tell you, that wreck there on that restart, we didn't bring out a yellow, and I think that kind of killed our chances. I was tucked up behind somebody when they started spinning. I didn't even know it, and seats parted, and I'm staring at Aaron sideways on the track, and I just locked him up, and I think that destroyed my right front for the entire run, and I just pretty much cost us every chance we had of getting back up there.
Well, nonetheless, you did a good job of being able to secure at least a spot on the late lap, and 12.7 seconds is probably not what you wanted to see at the end of the night, but normally that would be much farther back in the pack, but it gets you third tonight. Talk about the race in general, maybe before that, maybe afterwards, what you were able to accomplish, and maybe some hardships that you found in the race on the track tonight.
I mean, it was definitely a good race overall. I mean, pretty clean up front for the most part, except that last wreck there. But we were very happy. We led some laps. We stayed pretty much in the top five the entire night, and I was hoping for a late yellow there. We tested out the two-tire run, and it seemed to really work well. And then it seems like the next pit stop, everybody else tried it as well. So we were definitely going to change two if we got a caution with like 20 to go or so, and see if we could sneak.
Well, Justin, you are able to get another good finish. Not really a big deal for you to get bad finishes here, as you're particularly locked into the chase after tonight and into next week, as long as you start the race. But before we let you go, who makes it happen for you, and have any shout-out sponsors to give there for you?
Yeah, just thank Aaron and all the guys over at YGM, and just thank all the sponsors we put on the truck, 511 Tactical, AR15.com, definitely the NRA. Definitely want to support our Second Amendment rights out there and make sure everybody joins the NRA. It's definitely a good time to do it right now. And thank everybody out there for watching. Definitely appreciate the fans.
There you have it. Justin Michael finishes third place tonight, and we will quickly move ourselves back to the LSRTV booth for some final thoughts and comments. And I think these guys were hitting it right on the spot. Once that accident happened, it really just ground shook everything, and these guys really just had to salvage everything. I mean, it's the biggest talking point because it changed the race so much here, Michael.
Yeah, and for the fact that it even happened early, I think that happened around lap 100 or so. But from then on, it was just all spaced out, as you said. So everyone just kind of got set where they were going to finish for the rest of the race and hope they didn't get lapped. And it was really interesting to see how like Seth the Merchant was able to recover from that spin. I think he fell back to like outside the top 10, the 12th to 13th or so, but he was able to recover really well and finish 5th. So it was just an eventful night for everybody. Ups and downs for a lot of drivers. A lot of early wrecks took out a lot of good cars. The contending drivers that I mentioned earlier, like Bob Gillenwater and Chris Cabot, having rough nights, but Tim Matthews was the lead driver of those bubble drivers tonight. So big picture, looking into next week, they did a good job.
They did do a good job tonight, and so from all of us in the LSRTV booth, we say thank you for tuning in with us. You can keep up with all live sim racing stuff at livesimracing.com. You can look at the schedule. We'll have Full Throttle Cup Series with English Auto LLC at 9:30 next Monday. We'll have the final Myrtle Beach Simulation Series race next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and then we'll have Super Speedway Cup on next Friday, and the Majors Daytona 500. You're not going to want to forget that one. That is actually tomorrow, I believe. I think it's at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, so definitely tune in for that one. It's going to be a fun race. That's going to be led by Evan Pasoko. So from everyone here in the LSR TV room, myself, Austin Choop, Michael Grillia, and Cisco Scarmuza, and everyone back home who makes it happen for us, and all the supporters and all the fans like you at home, we say thank you, and we will see you at the next track, which is tomorrow at Daytona.